Rural schools often have lower student numbers and higher transportation costs.
In his new budget proposal, Governor Scott Walker is planning to direct more funds toward rural schools to meet those challenges. News 8's Madeline O'Neill now is here with the details.
Mike and Martha, the governor's new budget will increase aid to sparsely populated school districts by $20 million and increase high-cost transportation aid by about $10 million. He also plans to put money toward technology grants, hands-on programs, and training pathways for aides to become teachers. I went to DeSoto School District today, and well administrators are happy that rural schools are the focus. They're waiting to see how the new funding shakes out.
We can offer everything that a larger school can offer, and we do offer that. In some instances, we offer more.
Tucked away in a beautiful landscape, DeSoto schools offer a number of hands-on programs, like robotics, workshop, and even aviation. But with just 500 students enrolled in the entire district, school administrators want to make sure they're not being forgotten.
We have a smaller population, which is advantageous because we have smaller class sizes. But it also means that we don't have the aid that we necessarily need.
So Superintendent Lindsay Groning is happy the new budget sets aside funds for science and technology labs. And rural schools will be getting a little extra help for transportation costs.
We're a 40-mile school district, 10 miles wide, 40 miles long.
Transportation takes up about 7% of DeSoto's total budget. That's higher than urban schools like La Crosse School District, where transportation takes up about 3% of the budget, or Onalaska School District, where transportation sits at 1.6%. But the Director of Finance and Business Services at Onalaska School District says even rural schools would rather receive more general state aid instead of just increased transportation aid.
Anytime that the funding for transportation isn't covered by the categorical aid, it comes out of other pots of money.
Groning isn't sure yet how the funding will shake out.
So transportation aid would be very helpful, but again, if the governor elects to increase the aid to schools, but increase the number of miles that it'll be servicing, that could even it out a little bit.
And DeSoto School Board President Rick Pedretti says general funding has decreased so much over the past 6 years that it would take a lot more additional funding to make up for it.
We're thrilled that they are thinking about our rural schools and that they're putting more money into education, but they're not keeping up with the needs.
For now, Groning is happy rural schools like DeSoto are on the legislative map.
I think rural schools cannot be ignored.
DeSoto administrators say they're also interested in the part of the budget that would set aside funds to train paraprofessionals like teachers' aides to become full-time teachers. State school funding is complicated, so they'll have to wait until the budget comes out next week to determine exactly how the funding changes will affect them. But they say they're optimistic.
Thanks a lot, Madeline. Governor Walker releases his budget next Wednesday.